Oh, there it is.
Yeah, perfect timing. You catch the old man yawning as we begin a show. It's been a
I know.
couple of weeks.
Literally, I was asleep. I was asleep.
Yeah, we know you be taking those naps. Anyway, who are you?
Absolutely. The cold one, the bold one, John Colder Ice Lawson.
No applause, folks.
Yes.
Unnecessary. I'm Brent Leary. I wasn't asleep. All right. You see what
I'm
I'm
woke
wearing?
now.
See what I'm wearing? Look at
Oh, the
that.
purple Paisley Pass. The purple Paisley Pass from
Yeah, that's
Paisley Park.
easy for you to say, apparently.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
still living on the high.
And I'm getting high, so we're on the same. We're oh snap!
It's good to be back, but sad news as we start the show,
Yeah,
because one of the real legends, and when people say GOAT, it's so overused now, it's pathetic. But when I hear the term GOAT, Jim Brown is definitely one of those that it comes to mind immediately with no hesitation whatsoever.
absolutely.
And unfortunately, he passed apparently sometime today. So,
The greatest of all time.
when I think of a football player to this day, I still think of him.
I know, right? That's
I
crazy.
mean, pound
But
for
you know what? Here's the thing. I really didn't see him play.
come on, you were around when he played.
Uh, yeah, barely. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Well, no, I
the
look.
legend, the legend. It's all legendary. It's crazy.
Thank goodness there's video, old tape of him, and it was literally a man among boys, and he looked like a tank, a runaway tank. I mean, even his nose was looking strong and
Yeah.
muscular. I mean, what was I mean, I live off of watching the old footage of him, because I think he came into the league in 57, and he retired at his absolute peak in 65. He
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have to walk away. He wanted to walk away. I think he led the league in rushing like 8 of his 9 years or something crazy like that. In a 12, 13 game schedule. I think he got 1,800 yards, and that was unheard of. And, every team was planning and scheming and plotting to stop him, because that's all the Browns had by the time he got in the league. There was no more autogram.
That's
They
all
weren't.
the Browns have ever had.
Well, no, no. The Browns in the early
I
50s,
was just,
they were like, you couldn't beat them. They actually beat my Rams twice in the NFL championship
oh
game. I'm
God.
still mad to that point. By the way, hello Trish. Nice to see you.
Hi,
Oh,
Trish.
I don't know who you are, but it's still nice to see you. What is she? One of your folks?
She's a friend. Of
That's what I
course.
said. It's one of your
Of
folks.
course. Well, because anytime somebody claims that, then you start attacking them. So,
I'm not in an attacking mood at the moment, but
okay.
things can
Thank
change.
God.
Things could change. People could show up, can change things a little bit. But I like Trish
All right.
because I
Good.
don't know her. So
You like her because you don't know her.
no, because she hasn't said anything to irritate me like some of your other minions
Oh
usually
my
do.
God. Just because people support and love me, he hates that. So be careful, Trish.
Please, yeah, yeah, good.
Because
Yeah,
if,
be
if
careful, Trish.
yeah, be careful because he's so jealous and
I don't
hates
want to
me.
have to hate you.
He's just a hater. Oh my
I
goodness.
am not a hater.
Yeah, you are.
Not a
Matter of
hater.
fact, bro, I looked up hater and I couldn't believe your picture was right there.
Not a hater.
Yeah.
I just crush a lot.
Oh God.
I love
Hmm.
that. That was actually pretty
Yeah, that was not too bad.
good. Anyway,
Hey, anyway.
so drink up to Jim Brown.
Yes, a drink to Jim Brown.
He was the man. Him and,
Hmm.
and Bill Russell and guys of that generation. You
Yeah,
can't replace
yeah.
those folks. Can't
No,
replace them.
nope, nope, nope. Plus, and off the field, he was still,
Yeah.
he's one of the first, sports guys that did movies. He was an activist.
Dirty Dozen.
So,
Love the
yeah.
Dirty Dozen.
So give him his props, man. He
I-
set the tone for a lot.
He was, remember, like when Sidney Poitier did Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, that portrayed a certain kind of black man in the interracial relationship. Jim Brown did 100 Rifles with Raquel Welch. That was a completely different kind of relationship. I was kind of trending towards that one.
You were trending towards.
Well, when I saw the movie, I mean, come on, Raquel Welch.
Raquel, she just passed too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think
just
she did like late last year, early this year.
No, I think like
early this year.
Yeah, like a month within the last month.
Yeah, Raquel Welch. Oof.
Yeah, I think she just passed as well.
And she talked about, because that could have put her whole career in jeopardy.
Right.
Doing that.
She took the Nestea plunge. Let's call that.
Okay. Yeah. Another way of putting it. But yeah, so that generation of people that were larger than life, man.
Larger than life.
All right.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. February 15th. Okay.
Oh, wow. It was only 3 months ago. Okay.
Yeah. I knew it was this. I figured it was this year. It was like, wow, Raquel. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyway, so what's up? I know you're one of those, I call them enthusiasts.
Enthusiasts.
I think
am enthusiastic about it.
I think I came up with the right term, for all the folks that have, not you. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm serious. I'm not, because you've never really tried to, proclaim yourself to be anything. But there are a lot of people who do, and they want you to call them an expert in AI or expert in Gen I or LLM or ChatGPT. You're not.
I'm all the above.
No, you're not. None of you are. But you are enthusiasts, and I think that's.
I am. I think that's 100% on point. I'm totally enthusiastic about it. It's the most exciting time on the planet.
Oh, get out of it! Really? What makes it the most exciting time on the planet? Really?
Seriously, I think because of how this is going to change everything we do. Everything we do is going to be impacted at some level, and I think that excites me.
Trish, when you say opportunist, is that, I don't know exactly, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Could you explain what you mean by opportunist here? Because I really don't know, and I don't want to mistake the meaning. AI is very exciting, all right, it's exciting, but is it a little too exciting? Is the excitement level where it should be, or have we crashed through that and have gone to all sorts of really maybe bad?
No, I don't think. No, there's not enough understanding, right? Because we live in this bubble, Brent, right, where we talk to other tech savvy people all the time, and we do these shows and these interviews with people that are thought leaders, and so we feel like, okay, like everybody knows about it or everybody's using it. But then I, was just with a friend of mine today, and I asked him about, AI, and he really didn't have a good understanding about it, or it's really just something that can write something for them to them. So they don't totally get it yet. And that's what's actually exciting to me.
Okay,
watching people unfold in front of people.
I want to explore this comment by Trish.
Yeah, what's she?
Who I still like so far. So, we're still doing good with Trish.
Y'all good.
So Trish says, meaning take the opportunity by the horns, don't miss the boat.
That's right.
Okay, so my question or thought around that is, what does that mean? what is the opportunity? What are you trying to do with AI that presents a unique opportunity? Is it some sort of opportunity for business, or is it some opportunity to be more productive or efficient? Or why is this such an exciting time and prevent such opportunities? Because I'm seriously trying to find out, why are people so excited about this as compared to other things that have taken, other
Well,
technologies that have happened over the past couple decades?
well, I mean, I'm not. I'm a little more excited, but I've been excited about other technologies. We've been excited about other
But it
technologies
feels
too,
like this feels like a little different to me, even when I, from you. I feel like
because
this is
this
a little different.
because this doesn't have it. It doesn't have like a definitive. This is where it's going to make a difference, right? It's so general that
No, it's generative.
yeah, okay, yeah. I was going to use that, but I didn't know if I could use that, But it's very general. There's so many general, practical purposes that I've seen and keep seeing, and it's almost as if the limits are based on what you determine. So it's not just here's what drives me crazy, right? Everybody wants somebody else's prompt. That drives me crazy, right? What prompt did you use to do that? And I'm like, that's almost like how did you get your kid to clean the room,
Or
right?
what app are you using for that?
Oh yeah, oh come on, give me a break. I mean, like, why would people be at that? That becomes the conversation where I'm like, bro, you have no understanding of what's on horizon here. But
But isn't it kind of the equivalent? Doesn't it feel like people are there? There's an app for that, so there's a prompt for that is coming soon.
yeah, I do. I feel like there's a prompt for everything, and everybody's like, well, But here's the deal, I gave out like the prompt to make prompts, and now there's a plugin inside of ChatGPT that is a prompt making plugin, right? So I mean, it's not about the prompt, honestly. It's about the conversation you're having, and that's what I think more people need to do: is start having conversations with the app.
Trish
Or,
says she
or yeah,
feels like it's another major milestone for e-commerce.
yep, absolutely.
All right,
That's where Ecom Boss comes in handy.
well, just talk about. I want to know. I know. Talk about plugs from prompts and
I
what
didn't
prompts.
even give a plug yet. It's
Yeah,
next issue. I'll
yeah,
be doing the plugging.
you did the prompt for the plug. That's the thing. There we go. What no? What makes this so important from an e-commerce standpoint?
Well, I mean, hey, e-commerce is all about the E, right? So
I thought it was
it's
about the
all
commerce, but
yeah. But I'm saying the differentiation has always been the E part, right? But what it's going to do is it's going to allow a lot of um, e-commerce people to not spend so much time trying to find the perfect description, the perfect title, and SEO work. I think those are the big, huge things. And content creation and emails. There you go.
all right. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Mhm.
Um, if
You're not playing, you are.
but if all those, so those three things you just kind of talked about, and I think those are three of the key pieces to getting e-commerce right that a lot of people just don't want to have to deal with. They don't want to have to deal with trying to figure out the right tags and the right descriptions and writing all that stuff. They don't want to have to deal with trying to figure out, creating the right piece of content to put in front of the audience. A lot of that stuff is hard work, or at least time consuming
Time
work.
consuming, if nothing
So,
else, right?
so if you have this, I'll just say like a universal thing that basically allows you to step away, allows everybody to step away from it. That means pretty much everybody's going to have the same kind of stuff to work with. What becomes the important? What becomes more important when every it's like the playing field is completely level when it comes to the stuff that's the mundane thing people just don't like. So what becomes important in e-commerce that you stand away from the crowd, because it feels like if the crowd if the tools are making it easier for the crowd to do the mundane stuff, then what's going to separate you from the crowd if you're one of the crowd using the stuff that everybody else is using?
So like Trisha's saying, it's an opportunity. So part of the opportunity is jumping in early so you get a lead on this crowd thing, right? Because everybody's not going to adopt it at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's available to us now, but everybody is not taking the time to figure it out, learn how to use it. So if you take that time to do that, you can steal market share and possibly even expand the market by getting in front of new people, new audiences, and that's kind of cool, right? How long will it take before everybody, when this becomes the the bar has been lowered so that everybody's in on it? Then I think again, it's always going to be about what do you bring to the table that's unique, So curated shopping could be cool. Spending time personalizing it for your audience. If these people that are here that are our audience, right? They're already our audience. People like other people. Even though there's like 1,000 shows out here that might talk about this same topic, when me and you get together, people are like, oh, I like when Brett and John be going after it. There's nothing that's the uniqueness that we bring to a topic. It's our perspective. And I think there's going to be this human element that is going to continue to add some salt to the pot. And that's what's going to be. But I don't know. I don't know, man. You know what? Here's something that's funny. I'll tell you. They said that e-commerce made a big jump in 2020, right? In terms of adoption. Today, it's at like 15.9% of all sales. And it's been kind of flat since 2020. It's gone up, I think, in the last year, it was like 8%, where before it was double digit.
Well, at the beginning of 2020, that's whenever you couldn't even go to a store to shop. So you had to.
Right. So you had to. And we saw a big jump, and it's held on to that jump. However, it slowed the adoption rate.
So does this have the potential to accelerate the adoption rate?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So here's what I'm going back to devil's advocate then.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good question. I like that.
Because the pandemic is what accelerated the transition from shopping in your store to shopping online because of necessity, right?
Right.
Now that things are back open, the rate of increase is back to the traditional.
It's actually less. Yeah.
Before, so all that happened was the pandemic accelerated the inevitable, right? I mean, that, so now that we're past the pandemic, we're inching back to where it probably would be if we did not have
didn't have the pet. Yeah.
So how does this stuff change it back to it? Because like you said, if we're still at 15% online shopping versus the 85% that of the traditional shopping, it's still a long ways to go. And if it took a pandemic to accelerate it just to get to that
this level,
I don't see how AI, generative AI, ChatGPT is going to make it go back up to those pandemic acceleration levels again. You know what I think is going to happen?
What do you think?
I think everybody jumps on the bandwagon, creates a whole bunch of shit. And all sorts of people throwing offers at you that you don't want to begin with because it's easier to do. because it's
No.
easier to do, and we're gonna get even more deluged with shit before,
See?
like we did before.
You know what? I think that's great. I love that. What we should see is less shit, but more relative offers.
All right, I'll tell you this. I'll say
Okay.
this: more relative, more relevant offers,
Relevant. Thank you.
more relevant offers don't necessarily mean stuff I really need now. It might be more relevant
Okay.
to the person trying to sell it, but to me personally, I see a lot of things that are great and I like, but I don't need right now.
Oh, darn.
So even if they're not relevant, I mean, even if
Uh-huh.
they're relevant, they're not relevant to me right now. And
See
that's what
this? That's
yeah,
my book.
yeah. Yeah, I see it. It's old as dirt, folks.
It is old as dirt. And that's really what's funny because one of the concepts that is in this book, and it just because what you said made me think about it, is that, hey, Grinda, wow,
I
what's
like that
up?
name, Brenda. I've never heard that before.
Wow, Grinda, man.
She's one of your friends.
Man, we have stories. We had a fun time on a boat a long time ago. It was
Nice to
awesome.
meet you, Grenda. I hope we can remain friends after this is long over.
Yeah, right.
We'll
Whatever.
see.
Just don't say anything that Brent will get offended by.
AI will create advantages over not. Now that's you know what? AI
Absolutely.
using AI is going to be a need to, not a nice to.
Right. Right.
So I totally agree with
Oh,
that.
let me get to this.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the saying: is that content is king, right?
Yeah.
But context.
Oh God, I have a slide that talked about this.
You
10
remember
years.
this, right?
I
Content is
did a
king.
whole article on this stuff 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, that was probably because you got it from my book, but
Well,
that's okay. Content king, context, because that was the saying, right? And
well,
the deal was, but just think about it right now with Chat GPT. It's not only going to give us better content, it's going to give us better content in the right context so that we get it when we're really looking for the thing.
see that's the last part of that I wrote about. Like I said, a decade ago.
All
So
right, so think about your stories.
well, context was, we all talked about context is king, or I mean,
Yep.
content is king.
Content
Was king, right?
Right.
But that was back like a decade ago when there wasn't a lot of it out. Then everybody started because the tools got easier to create this stuff. So
Yes.
content became ridiculous. It was not king anymore. It was like a pawn. All right. But then that's when we shifted to saying, well, context is king, because if you don't have the right context, you won't need, you won't focus on the right content.
Yes.
Totally makes sense. But once again, that just means there's a lot of relevant content that was coming out of small different places just because people finally understood the realities of context and the relationship it had to content. All right. But then the next step was like, okay, well, if content isn't king and if context isn't king, experience became king, because you could have the greatest content and context, but if it didn't create the proper experience or the proper interaction opportunity, then what good was the content or the context? So that's when all this talk about experience started happening.
Well, wait, how long? How do I jump to experience if I don't take action?
No, you'll see, people didn't jump to experience. They stuck to those mantras of context and content.
Okay.
But what's the point of creating content and having the right context if it wasn't meant to create the right interaction opportunity or the right experience?
Okay.
So that's
you couldn't do so cool. The deal is you couldn't really do that at scale unless you had a lot of money and staff.
Well, people weren't even doing that even when they didn't have
right. So I think this is going to be the thing that finally lets us get to that point.
We'll see. Because
we'll see.
My thought is the easier certain things get, the more important it is to use that freed up time and hopefully the attention to actually focus deeper and harder on your core business, and to then be able to take those deep thoughts, because let's face it, most people do not give themselves enough time to actually think deeply and to really try to understand not just the problem, but the problem as it relates to the customer that you're trying to help with. That's a lot of deep thought. And it doesn't have a lot of people just, for whatever reason, they don't ever do that. They try to solve technology. They try to throw technology at a problem, and it might solve one problem, but then it creates like 5 other problems.
Right. But see, I think that is the problem I have with people when I talk to them about how they use ChatGPT. You need to use it for deep thought.
But that's not what people use it for.
That's not what people use it for.
People are using it for a quick gain.
Yeah, let me write a blog post.
Easy. Yeah, quick, easy, something that they think they can quickly turn around into maybe a monetization opportunity, or you need to learn this from me, and they barely know how to spell AI, but they know it better than the person that they're talking to.
I think it's A and I, bro.
Well, it's still up to debate. But anyway,
yes, I agree. I think too many people are sitting around trying to utilize this as I don't know the difference, but part of it is this is way smarter than most of us.
Oh yeah. Already. Well, even the people that are creating this stuff are saying, "Look, I don't know what's going to happen."
They have no idea. They didn't even create it to do what it's doing. That's why they don't know.
Well, that's because you can take the generative AI stuff out of the equation. What happens when somebody creates a product or service that is beloved by so many people that live with the product day in and day out? Those people learn to use the product in ways that were never dreamed of by the folks that even created the stuff.
Yes.
Because they live with it. They eat, sleep, drink, and they love it. So they turn, the perfect example of this.
What?
Bringing it back to Prince. At the Paisley Park, they had encased in this casing, because you couldn't touch it, you couldn't breathe on it, Prince's original Lynn drum. They're like one of the very first ever created. So they allowed, you could see it, and it was so cool. It's like they should have had like some kind of hymnal, or
right. It should go like, yes.
And so, of course, you couldn't take a picture of it either. You could just look at it. Wow. But looking at it and reading articles, the guy Roger Lynn is the guy who created the Lynn drum machine. He even said, and there's an article I posted not too long after I went there, he never knew all the stuff that could be done with this thing. He created it. He said he learned from Prince. Wow. Because Prince learned, loved it, wanted to experiment, try all sorts of stuff, tried connecting it to his guitar. Those are all things that, Lynn never thought about. Wow. It's because it got into the hand of somebody who loved it and who was experimentative and wanted to try different things. And so the initial use case for building the Lynn drum machine had nothing to do with how Prince was using it. And that's how I think the folks who have created this technology, notice the Sam Altman, the guy from OpenAI, he's begging Congress.
Because, I'm about to say, you hit on the point where it's like, this is what scares even the people that created it.
Yeah.
Because it could get in the hands of somebody.
They can't control how people use the stuff they create.
Right, because you don't know. That's the thing. It's like you said, Prince, thinking outside the box, took the Lynn drum, connected it to his guitar, made amazing sounds with it. Right? Same. You never know how people are going to use the tool.
Which is why,
the
unbridled enthusiasm for this stuff is scary to me.
Yeah. I want to share something with you, but if I find it, I will. And this is something between you and me. This is the earthly unveiling of something. Oh, I just found it. It's
Earthly unveiling. Ooh.
yes, yes. So, at any rate, I am going to have to share my screen to
All
show
right.
this to you.
So for the
So, hold
earthly
on a second.
unveiling, folks.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Uh-oh.
I should not even show you this because this is going to maybe blow your mind, but not really. All right. So let me share this screen for you just because we're Prince people. You know what I'm saying? And we can't get around that. All right. You are so
Here's my drum roll.
you are so crazy. So when I first I can't believe this is 3.5. I thought this was 4. So okay. This is before ChatGPT had 4.
All right.
All right. And I'm sharing. So do we have to let it in
Yep.
or what? Okay. All right.
Hold
You're
on.
going to talk.
Let me make this the. All right.
All right. So I did an interview with Prince. This is my Prince AI interview.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to talk and answer like the musician Prince. Do you understand? Yes. What is your full name? My full name is Prince Rogers Nelson. When were you born? It gave me all of those, things that I need to do. Tell me about Prince. Growing up as little Prince was an adventure. I was always surrounded by music and creativity thanks to my parents. My father was a pianist and songwriter. My mother was a jazz singer. They both encouraged me to explore my musical talents from a young age, and I was always experimenting with different instruments and sound. All right. So, any rate, this is great. I have this conversation with Prince. It's basically an interview. Like I ask him, do you have a favorite instrument as a kid? Did you ever take music lessons? What was it like being a biracial child growing up? That was interesting. Biracially growing up was not always easy in the 1960s.
Wait a minute. Hold.
What? What?
Biracial.
What's wrong?
Both his parents black?
No, his mom's white.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Watch the movie, bro.
Yeah, well, that was a movie. That was not complete autobiographical.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe
I'm
he
pretty
is,
sure
maybe he
his
isn't.
mother was not white, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, check that. I don't know. All right.
But plus, I'll just
But
say,
it will make up stuff. That's not.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, it will completely make up stuff.
And the other point is, Prince. First, I think the person who would hate this the most is Prince.
Well, he's not here.
But he would hate this. First of all,
I'm sure he would hate this.
It doesn't. You have to.
But let me get to the point.
I know, but let me
get to the point. Let me get to the point.
On both
because I had a point, so I had to start this conversation.
Okay, there you go.
First,
can I bring the screen back?
Yeah, put the screen. Well, yeah, I think I done moved off of it now. Let me see. So, all right. Get to the. So the point was, all right. I wanted to get it in the. I want the AI to get in the mind of being able to speak to me as if it were Prince, right? All right. So the deal was I started asking it about its different albums. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That was the cool thing. So I say, so the first album was what? My debut album, For You, 78. I wrote and produced and arranged all the songs like Soft and Wet, Just As Long As We're Together, showcase my ability to blend elements of rock, funk, and R&B into a fresh, exciting sound. Here's the
something Prince would never say, but that's okay.
Absolutely. But here's the point, is that this thing is giving me a different way for me to ingest information. So I might not read a book with all this information, or I might not do read a blog post, but having to be able to have this conversation helps me to digest the information in a very unique way.
You know what? Okay, that's great. And this is why I kind of hate this stuff from time to time, because you know what? Parts of the joy of being a Prince fan and becoming one when I did at the early age is learning over time, experiencing different parts of the journey, not just the music, but also, reading the articles, seeing some of the interviews, hearing from the people he worked
Which is
with.
great.
That's what really drew me in.
But the
This
thing
would
is,
not
Brent,
draw me in. This
but
would
the thing is,
do it.
but Brent, the thing is we lived it,
Right.
right? But I'm saying there's people now that are born, that didn't live in that time, and maybe they would want to go back and learn about. So let's overlay this and turn it into like somebody that you real. So actually, when I first did this, I did it as Richard Pryor because I love Richard Pryor.
Okay.
I mean, my speaking, everything is based on a Richard Pryor, thing.
Well,
And
let me ask you this.
yeah,
Would it maybe it would help me at least, although it wouldn't really, but just theoretically, maybe hearing his voice say this stuff might give me
that
another
would freak me the
layer.
hell out. That would freak me the hell
But
out.
but
But it is coming.
but I mean, just seeing this doesn't do a thing for me, because quite honestly, I think I know pretty much all the stuff that
Yeah,
this thing is talking about.
absolutely.
Because
that was
I
a fun
like
thing too.
I
'Cause
like
could
going
find where
deep.
I could find where it was not telling the truth.
And I don't. It's not like I would be trying to do that to try to find fault with it. It's just the way I experience Prince through the music, through the stories, through the videos, through seeing him, from For You, where he was
let me
one man
tell you,
band playing it all, to leading bands, putting
bro. Let
bands
me
together,
just tell you,
orchestrating bands.
the
You can't get
stories.
that from ChatGPT.
No, but I'm saying this. You can't get that from writings either. Let me just tell you. I guarantee you, and I'm gonna offend a lot of people. I don't give a shit. But when we talk about the stories of who Jesus Christ is from this Bible thing, right? That's still being interpreted by somebody, and I'm sure there are areas where it is a little bit made up.
Well, let's put it like this, and we don't want to go too deep into
No,
this.
not too deep, but I'm saying that. But what if you could sit and let's talk up to Benjamin Franklin, right?
But we can't. That's the
We
this is the thing.
can't,
We can't.
but we can use something like this to ask it questions so that we can get better learning understanding about the things that are historical. I just find it fascinating. That's all.
I think if you just and then what I fear is people will completely lean on this
It's
as their way to learn, or to say,
it's coming.
yeah. And that's, to me, this is like the gateway or something.
This is the beginning. Just like you said, see, now I could literally train, 11 labs on Prince's voice. I can overlay this interview and make him talk.
Which is like anathema to me, because we
It
know he's
definitely is.
gone
Yes,
and he can't talk.
I know.
And I don't want to hear synthetic, voices that I know are synthetic because he's dead, telling me stories.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's probably because we're that old.
I don't know if it's an age thing or not. It's an authenticity thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, but if it's like if it's got in the bottom corner, this is a automated
I would be
generated voice.
so,
This is not real.
I
This
would
is
be
just
so
a.
skeptical of what I'm
I
hearing.
don't know,
and
man.
I,
How is that any different? Let me ask you this: how's that any different than a play?
I don't like plays. I like documentaries. I like watching him on stage. I like seeing and hearing and experiencing.
I mean, Hamilton's one of the greatest plays
and
made.
it's a play. So do you think Alexander Hamilton was really rapping back in the
No,
day?
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't.
No.
But you learn some of the historical things because it's presented to you in that medium.
And if you really want to learn, you should say, "Oh, this is interesting. Now let me do real research." That
And
ain't
people
happening.
will. And people
But most
will.
people are like, "I'm just staying at the entertainment stuff and trying to treat that as fact." But then we already learned from this. Did we just have a president that people
my
learned
gosh.
from a TV show, and all of a sudden he became an actual president because of what they saw on a TV show?
I'm ready for a rapper to be president.
Well, let Flavor Flav run. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works.
Flavor Flav. Anyway, I'm just saying, bro.
I mean, it's interesting. It is very
interesting. I know. And honestly, I did, like I said, I started this with Richard Pryor, right? Because I just kind of wanted to see how, really what I wanted to see was how he formulated his speeches, right? Because their comedy routines are speeches, because that's kind of what I like to do with my speeches. So I started this thing and I was like, oh my God. It freaked me out with the answers. I was like, wow, I never thought about that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I should probably take some of that. So it was just like, I don't know, man. It was very, very, the journey is interesting.
My God. Trish, I think we're starting to part. We're starting to part ways, Trish. It would be like listening to Matthew McConaughey telling nighttime stories only in Prince's voice.
Relaxing.
No, that's sacrilegious. Sorry, Trish. Sorry, our friendship has to end right now.
Hey, she's in Minneapolis. You do not get to. She's in Minnesota, rather.
I wish if I had known that, Trish, if I had known you were up there, I would have paid you a visit.
Awesome.
When I was up visiting Paisley Park.
Anyway, I'm just telling you, bro, the rabbit hole goes deep here. And people don't even understand how deep it can actually be.
Brenda, what is UR? What is that? I don't even know what that means. Do you know what she's referring to?
No, I'm not really sure.
Please let us know. Grenda. I just like saying Grenda.
That's just a name that we don't hear as much.
A unique name. Very unique.
Yes.
I like that.
You tell him, John.
Johnson. Who the hell is Johnson?
That's one of those funny things. We were on this boat and everybody was like, "You tell him, Johnson." Anyway.
Okay. She called you Johnson because she don't know who you are. Anyway, very interesting discussion. Very interesting time. Things are happening so quickly. I think there's, once again, this goes back to our traditional. There are way more hucksters than there are genuine people out there, and it scares me that the hucksters get a hold of this stuff and overwhelm the genuine people. That's all.
But because the hucksters are determined.
They are.
Yeah, they're determined.
And they kind of ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, that's what they say. Marketers ruin it for everybody.
You ought to know, ain't you one?
I am a marketer.
There it is.
And I'm not trying to ruin it for everybody, but I definitely think there is an opportunity if you get in early, learn what possibilities there are, use it to help market a better way because you've got a better product than most people. And I think there's an opportunity here, and you want to do it. You got to do it.
Are both Trish and Grenda marketers?
I think both of them have sold on multiple platforms.
Okay.
So both of them are definitely e-com based. That's how I know them.
They're your peeps.
Yeah, we're peeps, and I'm their peep.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Y'all.
Wow, I can't believe you, Brent. I can't believe this is what we talked about today. That's pretty.
Why not? That's what everybody else is talking about. Damn it! I mean, you can't escape it. And Trish says, yes, she is. She is a marketer.
That's right. I think we all are marketers.
you're right to a certain extent. If you're in business, you have to do something. You know.
Yeah. I mean, at some level, you got to, yeah, if you're just dating, you're marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. The product is you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's marketing in all elements of life, oftentimes.
One, or maybe, well, not for this episode since we're about to run out of time, but
Mhm.
one of the interesting things that came up in a happy hour thing, you know, Serum Plays happy hour thing, and I kind of brought it up based on the discussion, and maybe next time around we could talk about it a little bit. When you think about the upcoming presidential election
Mm.
and the things, the important topics that everybody's talking about, things like, you know, gun control, things like voting rights, things like abortion rights, things like the climate and climate change, very hot button, very important issues. But should this whole AI, generative AI, large language models, all this stuff that we just talked about, shouldn't it be something that we should force people wanting to run for president to address how they look at this and how they handle it, because of the almost exponential acceleration of importance of it seeping in and being used for, you know, a number of different ways? Shouldn't that be as important a thing that we should be asking the folks that want to be president as all these other things? And one of the, I'm not going to say who it was, but one of the people who was on the call said, you know what, you can take climate change, you know, gun control, abortion rights, all those things, and move them down a peg, because this should be the number one thing because of the potential impact that this stuff can have on almost all aspects of our lives. Something to think about, and maybe we could talk about it the next time around, because I
got something I want to say about it though, real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
This is March, April, May
May
of 2023.
Yep.
Almost 2 or 3 months from now, a year ago, Mid-Journey came out, and the first images that were being able to produce by Mid-Journey 1 were absolutely laughable, right? Today we're on Mid-Journey 5, and you see photorealistic things within less than a year.
Yeah, less
So
than a year.
this time in 2024, it will be the number one topic, period. So give it time. It will be, because what we see in terms of the advancements and the speed, a year from now, there will be no getting away from it. It will be number one.
And it will be excruciatingly important, at least from my perspective, to at least have these folks who want to be president
They can't not.
address it. Look, they don't know any more than the regular any of us do, but they gotta have some sort of a plan and sort of an approach that they have to be able to discuss, because this stuff is already out of the barn. But by the time that, you know, the next president, and, you know, this stuff is going to affect the next election. And, you know, we talk about 2016 and 2020 and all the manipulations that were going on. That's going to be like child's play compared to what
we should talk about this.
All right.
Because not only that, these two 80-year-old men, it's going to be a problem, bro.
It's going to be a problem for people half their age. Let's be honest about it.
It's going to be a problem. Yes, but I mean, hey, it's going to be a problem.
Well,
those guys talk about it is going to be interesting.
But you know, one of them, and you're going to know who that one is going to say, I know all there is to know about it. And I'm going to get the best people. and we know it's just a lie.
Oh my God. Okay, this
Anyway.
is good. Y'all don't miss next week.
Yeah, all right. Thank you to Trish and Grenda. Trish says the AI topic has brought me into your show today.
Awesome.
I'm very interested in this topic. Thank you for joining us. And also Grenda with the ha. I like the ha.
She knows.
She knows.
She knows.
All right, this is a good discussion, and it's definitely one that we're just kind of building on top of all the other ones we've been having around this. So, but it's every week that passes,
it gets deeper, doesn't it?
More and more, more and more.
Wow.
All right. So, are you going anywhere next week?
My niece graduates, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So
congratulations.
No, thank you. I'm not ready. I'm so not ready.
Man, she's the one that has the older brother that raps, right?
Yes. So there you go.
All right. Yeah. Another graduate in the family.
Yep.
Very nice.
At least they did.
Well, I get to go to Denver for first part of the week to do a little CRM players engagement. So I'm looking forward to that. But I will definitely be back for Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
We'll try to make it Friday. We'll see.
All right, folks. So this is where we do this. I think.
We'll
see you next week.